KTM has just unveiled the new 1390 SuperDuke R and Evo, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it in the next 25 seconds. For a start, it's not a 1390, it's a 1350. It's got 190 horsepower, 145 newton meters of torque. It's really just a facelift of the existing bike, and that means it's got the 990 Duke's challenging alien face, which will please the internet. They've made the rear subframe a bit lighter by removing the tail light. That's progress. And it's got graduated wheelie control, so you can set how many degrees of wheelie you want to do. It's going to cost from £18,000 for the R with its standard suspension, or £19,600 for the Evo model with its semi-active suspension. That's it, you can stop watching now, or keep watching if you want a bit more detail. Sorry, that was a bit flippant, but to be fair to KTM, they are saying this is more of a technical facelift than an all-new bike. They're still calling it the Beast, but let's start with the aesthetic changes. It's got the 990 Duke's alien face with the projector headlamps and the daytime running lights around the outside. I'm already kind of used to this, and I think it makes the old bike look, well, a little bit old, but there's no doubt this is KTM saying, screw you, we're going to make our bikes look the way we want. And to be honest, I think we should be glad that people are still doing that sort of thing. Now, the other aesthetic changes are around the tank, which has been reshaped. It's 1.5 litres bigger, so 17.5 litres now, and KTM says that's good for 186 miles of tank range, but it's better shaped to support you under heavy braking, and it's got some spoilers on it, and it's got some winglets to reduce front wheel lift. I can't believe KTM are saying the new SuperDuke has things to reduce front wheel lift. Something tells me it's going to be overpowered by that engine. Speaking of the engine, it's a revised version of the LC8 V-twin. They've increased the bore by 2 mil on each cylinder to give us the 1350cc. But interestingly, they say it's got 2 different valve timings, so it sounds like it's kind of got a shift cam system on it now, and that's going to help it give more power across the rev range. Power's up to 190 horsepower, as I've said, but also it's now Euro 5++ compliant as well. There's a new airbox, redesigned throttle bodies. I think they're basically trying to make it give you more induction noise when you're riding it, reading between the lines of the press release. They've also revised the gearing for 5th and 6th gears. They've not said whether it's shorter or longer. Hopefully it's shorter, because in my experience, 6th gear on any of the 1290 bikes, you need to be doing about 80 miles an hour for it not to go and vibrate your genitals off down the road behind you. And in reliability news, the valve service has been pushed out to 37,000 miles, which is quite long. Now, in terms of the chassis, it does look essentially the same as the bike that came out back in 2020, the Gen 3 SuperDuke. Now, in this case, they have changed the suspension. So on the normal SuperDuke R, you've got fully adjustable forks, 48mm WP Apex forks, and a slightly redesigned shock as well. There's no great shakes, but they're saying it's been redesigned for more high-speed stability and low-speed agility without sacrificing comfort. On the Evo model, you still get semi-active suspension with 5 different damping modes. You've got your road, your street, your race, your rain, and your track, so you can adjust that on the fly. But the big news for the Evo model is now has a factory start, which is what sounds a little bit like a budget MotoGP start system, where it drops the rear end of the SuperDuke down for more weight over the back wheel when you launch. It might also help out shorter riders, I guess, or just anyone that wants to do the traffic light Grand Prix. In other chassis news, it's now Michelin Power GP tyres, so it should be super sticky out of the box. Ridden those tyres before, they're amazing on the road when they're up to temperature. So again, I think this should corner as well as the old one. I really love the way the Gen 3 bike handled. It gives you so much assurance on the road, so I think they're just going for a slightly stickier tyre to encourage more people to ride faster or go on track days. Oh yes, and it's still got Brembo styling calipers. On the electronic side of things, you've now got a 5-inch TFT with KTM's latest graphics, which I really quite like. You've now got a USB-C port for charging your devices while you wheelie into oblivion. And speaking of wheelie, you've now got graduated wheelie control. So you can adjust the level of wheelie. You can go from very low, which allows 0.36 degrees of wheelie, to very high, which I think is 22.25 degrees of wheelie, and obviously you can switch it off. Now, there's still going to be a tech pack that you have to pay for to unlock lots of this stuff, I imagine, so that 18 grand starting price, you can probably stick another 900 quid on top of that from experience. So that's it, really. There's not a huge amount new other than the face and some engine redesigns and bodywork redesigns, all the stuff I've talked about. It's not really an all-new bike, but the SuperDuke R already felt like it was a very kind of top-of-the-class Super Naked. It was great fun to ride on the road. I've never ridden one on the track, but people say if you're not interested in lap times but interested in having mega lols, it's a great choice. So yes, it comes out in January 2024. You'll be able to order one then. And yeah, what do you think about it? Tell us down in the comments. Has KTM done enough to stick with the other Super Nakeds like the Ducati, the Aprilia, the Yamaha, and all the rest of them? Tell us in the comments. If this video's been helpful, please hit like, do subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back out riding motorbikes as soon as it's got a bit warmer soon. Thank you, goodbye.